Hey, residents of Meepletown, today we are in the Wild West. We were moving out west, stopping a little town called Whistle Stops, but now we are in the mountains of Whistle Mountain, and we are gathering up resources, gaining points to see who could be the most whistliest. Let's get to the table and check out Whistle Mountain. Okay, here is the setup for Whistle Mountain. Just so you know, we're not going to do a full playthrough of this. We feel like there's a decent amount of playthroughs out there, but we do want to give our thoughts and show how the game plays. So we'll play through a few rounds to show you everything that you'll basically see in the game. So this is where a lot of the stuff is going to happen here. So this is where the scaffoldings are. They're going to be building up in the bridge. We're going to be putting more and more scaffolding, and as that builds up, we're also going to be putting some of our machines that we gather out there, and the machines are going to, once they're like melting the mountain snow, there we go. The machines are going to melt the mountain snow, and it's going to cause flooding, and then we might lose some characters as a result of that.
Possible. We got couple guys, couple gals, just they're swirling in a whirlpool.
I think they're enjoying it actually.
This is pretty like
morbid.
Serious? Yeah,
it's pretty morbid.
I mean, people are dying in a whirlpool. We just started the game.
I don't think they're dying. I think they're enjoying it. I think this is like a giant.
How are you enjoying in a whirlpool and you lose 5 points? You don't get 5. You don't lose 5 points for letting your people have a fun time.
I think they're having a good time.
Oh no, they're swirling and look at that. That guy's on his head.
It's like a giant toilet that they're falling down in there.
Ooh.
All right, on your turn, this is a worker placement game at heart. And on your turn, we each have 3 of these different workers of different sizes, and that will matter if we're placing them out here. They do not matter if we're placing it on the outer edge of the board. You can place any of your, what do you call those again? What do you call these? Airships. Airships.
Kind of look like Zeppelins, but not quite.
That's right. The size of them matters when you're placing it out to gather resources there. So either you're going to do that, or you're going to forge, and we'll explain that later, because normally at the beginning of the game, actually, always at the beginning of the game, you're just going to be placing out workers. Ready?
Man, I'm ready.
All right, John is the first player, actually. So
man, I'm not ready.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that.
Woo-hoo!
You can place your ships any way that you want to in there. Like yes. John, he wants to be different.
I did it like this, then you did yours like yours.
Yeah,
what?
I guess so.
Something. Okay, so I think I'm just going to take, let's see here. You know, it's early in the game. Not a lot of scaffolding's been built. I'm just going to do this and put my Big Daddy right there. I'm going to get 3 water, like fill up my water and get a coal.
Yep.
So let's just go for it. Let's get them resources.
Ugh, I actually like that a lot too. I might do something very similar to that.
Of course you like it.
The problem is,
you always steal my ideas in this game.
If I did that, all I'm going to get is water, and I don't think that's super beneficial for me. But I'm going to do it anyway.
Wow.
I'm going to take this out here, and I'm just going to take 2 water and fill up my water, and that'll be my turn.
Philip.
Turns are quick, especially the worker action turns, worker placement turns. Now, I don't know if you said this. When you're placing these out there, your airships are not going to land on the scaffolding. They can go next to it, or when you put buildings out there, they can actually, machines, they can land on the machines and they'll activate those. We'll explain that a little bit later.
Well, I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to get a wet lung.
It's the only reason I got that
You
water.
wanted this one, didn't you?
It's the only reason, yeah.
So water is now a wild resource for me, and at the end of the game, I'm going to score 2 points. So that is pretty nice, if I do say so myself.
That is nice. All right, so since John did that, I need to figure out other ways that I can get stuff. So I'm going to take my little hot air balloon here, I think. I'm going to place it here and grab a coal.
Your little hottie air balloon.
And so far, I'm not doing very good on my actions. Now, we did not mention, we each also start off with this special ability. And there's a ton of these in the box, a lot, and you're only going to have one. Mine is once per turn, I can trade in another resource for a whistle, or trade a whistle for another resource. Now, whistle is used for as a wild when you're buying things. So not to take the actions, but when you buy things.
It's crazy.
So because I have my special ability where I can trade in another resource for a whistle, I will do that. And I don't need my water as much because John took that. Now, I can go up here a little bit later. There's only one spot for here to take that. But right now, I'm just going to trade that in for a whistle, and that will be my turn.
Yeah, so, I could get some more water down here because it's a wild resource now, which is huge. It could actually help me because I could use it as gold and get one of my guys out of the whirlpool right off the rip. But I'm not going to do that because my ability here is the Admiral, which means when I build one of these machines, then I am going to get like activated immediately. You normally don't do that. So it's going to cost me 2 coal because I'm the first one to that spot there. And you know, this is interesting. Like this, I like this wet iron. Sounds like an 80s metal band or something. Wet iron. Meow, meow. Double gold sounds like a pop star, you know? Hey, I'm double gold. The whistler. Okay. I'm going to get more points for wet iron, and that's a wild resource, but having 2 golds would be quite nice. So I think I'm going to take double gold.
And one thing you need to recognize that as those buildings, as those machines are going to go out on the board, John will gain the benefit that's at the top when it's placed. We'll explain it, but overall, everybody's going to be able to take advantage of those machines. So, all right, I've got one more. I don't have to. You don't have to place all your workers before you take the forge action. But in my case, I feel like I probably should do that because I need more. Yeah, I need to get some stuff out there. So what I could do, now I could trade in a water to gain. Here's what I'm going to do.
Flip this over.
I'm going to, remember my ability is I can trade in another resource for a whistle. I'm going to do that. I'm going to trade a water in for a whistle. And then when I do that, I'm going to go down here. Originally, I had planned on going up here. And I still can because I have 2 coal and then I have whistles that I could use in exchange for that. But I don't really want to do that now. I think what I'm going to do is go here. It's going to be a lot more expensive. It's going to cost me 3 iron, and I have 1 iron, 2 whistles that I can use for that. And I'm going to go ahead and take this one because I want to throw it on the ground. I'm not going to be able to place it right now, but what I like about this one, actually, I guess I probably could, but you'll probably take it first. What I like about this is I can trade a whistle in for 2 of these scaffolding pieces. That's where you get a lot of your points is through the scaffolding, and I feel like since I'm going to be getting a lot of whistles, this could be really helpful for me.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
This is going to flip over and then back over to John.
But I can take it too.
That's right. We'll both be able to take advantage of it.
Okay, so now I'm going to do the forge action. So I'm going to take these back. How about that? I'm going to put them in the correct order over here. Then what I will do is I will get 1 build action for free. Oh no, I forgot to get another water. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that is a shame.
That was dumb. Good thing we're not doing an entire playthrough. That's probably why I'm not thinking super hard. All right, so I'm shooting myself a little bit for not having the water, but it is what it is. When I place this, I'm going to score a point for every side that's touching one of these. However, what's interesting is whenever you build a machine over one of your meeples, then you're going to promote them, and they're going to end up scoring more points the higher they're up. So that would give me 1, 2, 3 points. And then I can put my meeple up here, which, it only give me 1. I could go like this and put it up here to where I'd get 4. It's kind of a wash. But also, if I do that, then I'm giving Dean the chance to build his crane. So that's why I'm not going to. I'm going to take this instead and just kind of make it goofy. Just like that. And only score 1 point. Hey, I wanted everyone to know that if you see the piles are a little different, I went ahead and put more on my side for the victory points because I knew I would score more than Dean.
Is that right?
I did. I really did.
I can't remember the score of that last game.
Okay, so I got destroyed. Okay, so I'm spending my gold, and I'm going to place this meeple, and I can't cover up a resource, so I'll place her here, and if she or he gets promoted, I will score 4 points.
That's right.
And if I'm the first one, then I'm going to get that bonus right there with that ribbon.
That's right. Okay.
I wish that I could have built this because I'm getting those bonuses, so that's a little mistake. A little mistake-a-roo? Maybe.
So you're done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty happy with what I did.
All right, I'm going to do the same thing, Forge. I was about to say that you're always going to have to do that. There are some tiles that will allow you to take things back without having to take the Forge action, but neither one of us have those. Now, I move into the build phase. First thing I'm going to do, and you can do it in any order of how you build or do this. So I will First knock my coal off of there. I'm going to spend a gold and... Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I was going to do. I was going to build first. I'm going to build this machine here, and I can do this for free.
Dang it. I should have paid attention to what you had over there.
So now what's going to happen
That was a stupid.
I'm going to take my gold.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points.
Yeah, it was a lot of points. Did you make sure you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yep.
I'm glad we're not really running this through.
So how that works, in case you didn't see that, as you place those, you get the points per side that's touching, and I was able to touch 6 sides. Now, there are some things. There was a tile, one of these tiles that gives you even more points than that. So there's other ways to get points. There's other ways to like manipulate all the rules in this game. But all right, so that was my first thing. First thing was to take that one out. Then I'm going to build the scaffold.
This is terrible.
I'm going to spend 1 water.
I'm glad we're not doing a playthrough of this game because you would beat me again and take the lead.
So I can take another build action, and I'm going to do that here. And these will both get promoted. Now, since I'm the one that promoted it, I'm the one that's going to get the bonus. And this will allow me to...
Because they landed on the same shelf.
That's right. That will allow me to gain a machine. I can use this at any time, or it's going to be worth a point at the end of the game. And I go ahead and immediately take the 10 points for that. I can build another one because I have water, but I don't have anything to build. So that's going to be the end of my turn. And also, I don't know if we mentioned this, but if you have these, you can use these as bonus actions or cards as bonus actions anytime during your turn. Yep. But I don't think I'm going to do that.
Okay, so for my turn, you want to do one more until we both do some more build actions?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm going to go here again, just because now, especially now that water is a wild resource for me. So I just got 3 wild resources. Can't complain about that.
Yeah, that's good.
4 resources total.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done. Okay. I'm going to take... Let's see. I'm going to take this action here. So again, I mentioned earlier that you can place the airships onto the machines, even though you can't place them on the scaffolds. When I do this, I'm going to activate the machine and then also the adjacent ones that are around there. So I'm going to take a whistle, and you can do this in any order. I'll take a whistle. I'll take an iron. I actually think that I'm going to take this. There's not a lot of places to get coal, is there? I guess there is one.
Man.
I'm going to hold off for trading that in right now. But the whistle that I did just gain from that, I'm going to turn that in, and that allows me to gain 2 of these scaffolding pieces. And I think I'll take this one and this one. And that will be my turn.
Yeah, I'm already not liking how this is going. But I'm going to go up here and grab a whistle and a... There you go. That's it.
That's it?
That's how you take a turn right there.
All right, I really need to gain some water right now. I hate that John took that spot because that is the best spot to get water.
Momentarily.
Because you also get a coal with that, and coal is pretty good for me too. But I think what I'm going to do, I really need resources, but I'm going to hold off on that for a minute. I'm going to go up here, spend 2 of my coal, my only 2 coal that I have, and I'm going to take this whistler. Again, it's another opportunity for me to get whistles, for both of us actually, but... I'll go ahead and take it.
Yeah, I'm going to come up here because I need some more pieces. And that's why I went ahead and got that whistle. So I can spend, I get 1, but I spent a whistle, so now I can get 2 of these. So I will take this one, and I will take, I'm going to take 2 of those. All right.
All right, it's tricky. Tricky for me to do what I want to do because the other problem is I really need gold. And there's no way to get gold out there. So we're going to have to start putting some things out there that help us out with that. However, what I can do is I'm going to place this here. I don't love this at all, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to have to forego getting some water this time. When I place that there, I'm going to just gain a whistle. And then I can then immediately turn that in for that. And...
Oh, you know what? I didn't do that because I forgot that you can... I was thinking that you can only activate that with... Because there's a worker already on there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can't activate it when it's adjacent to. Sometimes you can miss some things because there's so much going on.
It's not that it's not complicated. Just honestly, we haven't played it in a week, so I forgot that part. Or I would have easily gone there. I mean, that would be... Might as well.
I'm just going to take this.
Actually...
I don't know if this is going to pay off.
No, it was fine. Go ahead.
You good?
I like what I did. I'm good.
I'm going to trade that whistle in for a gold because whenever I take the action to forge, I'm going to need a gold for taking somebody out of here. Really, 2 to take one of these out of here.
Why is that one standing up like that?
That's why I put them on there.
Oh, because it's too much the other way?
It's just too much, John. It's just too much.
Okay.
All right, do one more forge action?
Yep, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to take these workers back. And I do like, the only thing that I have going for me is I feel like I'm going first on this, and I do kind of like that part of it.
That can change. Well, I'll explain that in just a
For
second.
sure. So I will do my first build action and put this here. So I will get 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So much better than my previous one. Let's exchange that. Then I will spend a water to I'm trying to think if I want to go ahead and spin this again. So here's the thing. One thing about this game is when you get above this danger line, when people build machines, these waters, I'll just tell them, will start to rise, which, isn't good if you don't have these folks off of here right now.
Because what that does is it floods these people on the scaffolding and it makes them come down here. It negates all the spots that it's covering, and it also jams the machine. So if water's covering a machine, that will not be able to be activated anymore.
The other problem is the more scaffolding I build, the more it actually can help Dean, because he's got that over there. I think I'm going to wait and just build this to start off. But before I build that, I exchanged the water already. I am playing this game so dumb. I'm just playing this dumb. Okay. Hey, this is stupid. I was prepared to get my gold, but I have to have my worker out there to promote the worker. Anyways, I'll just build it anyways because I don't.
Because you don't have any gold.
Because I don't have any gold to do it. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I guess whenever I'm not playing for keeps, I don't get that serious about it. Okay, so I'm going to build that right there, which will give me 5 points. Now, what I was, again, frustrated with myself was that if I would have had a meeple there, I would have promoted that meeple and would have had and got another one of those and got 5 points. But I couldn't do that because I didn't have any gold. But I do get the 2 gold for there because of my Admiral thing, so I just had it backwards in my brain.
All right. So you're done?
Just call those moments Dean Brains.
Dean Brains.
Dean Brain moments.
Okay. You done?
You are destroying me in this game. I'm so bad at this. 0 out of 10.
All right. So I will also take the forge action. I don't have anything else I can do, so I will move those airships back here. I needed one more water to show. I'm actually going to cheat for a little bit just so I can show you what John was talking about.
Okay.
Let's pretend that I have water because this is the last turn anyway. Let's pretend I have this water. What I would do is I would build here for free. I would get 3 points for that. Then I would spend another worker and say build like right here. And then that last water that I didn't have, and I probably would have spent this gold to move this guy up here just so I can take the bonus. Then what John was talking about is I would have spent my last water that does not exist to put this in here, promote this one that we talked about. But now that this machine is above there, this would come down here, and these spots are not available anymore.
And if one of the workers were in that spot, they would get sucked into what Dean calls it the hot tub. So you should want to let them get sucked down there if it's a hot tub.
Potty
it's not. It's a whirlpool, and you're going to die.
Whirlpool makes bathtubs, right? Is that what they make?
Yeah, they also make microwaves.
Yeah, so they're hanging
washing machines.
A washing machine.
Giant washing machine.
Like John said, so this would have, if we built another one, and this is also the timer for the game, so this would have, one more would have jammed up this machine, making it unusable, which is neat because the game is ever evolving, right? Like there's a lot of changes that happen throughout the game. So the timer for the game is when all of the workers are off this scaffolding, then you're going to be triggering the end game and then adding up your points.
Sounds good.
All right.
Art and components?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, so art and components, I mean, they're pretty nice in this game, don't you think, Dean? I enjoy the art. I also enjoy just the graphic design, the simplicity of, I know what all of these symbols, they're super clear in this, you know what I mean? And I like that a whole lot. Even on these things, they stand out really well. I think that's really nice. I mean, of course, you kind of have, and this isn't, I wouldn't say this is gimmicky, but it's because it's really super important in the game. So but it's cool. The way that works is really smart. All the cardboard pieces are nice cardboard pieces. I feel like everything is good quality. And you'll probably like to talk about these, but they're not cubes. They look like coal. And
the color on these is real nice too.
Yeah.
Right? You've got the silver, gold, and copper look over there. I really like that as well. Yeah, there's a lot of icons in this game, and it has to be clear. It has to be concise.
Yeah.
The good thing is that even if you have issues with it, I feel like the rule book is really helpful. In the back of the rule book, you have a section for all the like large machines, the card reference, your starting abilities, the upgrades. So there's sections for all of those, and they're all named, and so it's really easy to go back there and look, because again, every single thing in this game, the cards, they all have icons on them that you really just need to be, they need to be clear and concise. Yeah. I'm with John. I think the production of this game is really well done. This is not a negative necessarily. I don't know how I feel about games that put together like in a puzzle piece, because sometimes they can kind of push up, right, and get hung up. But overall, I haven't had a big issue with that, but it's just something to take notice of, I guess. But anyway,
a good point.
I like it.
Some people might not like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love how everything fits in there nicely, like John said. It's nice. It's cool. All right, on to the gameplay. Does it match up?
So, you may go first? You may go first.
You got it.
Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the positive things about this game. I like the player interaction. That's one of my favorite parts of the game is that when Dean's building a scaffold, it could help me. Because I'm going to get to go next turn. So he's thinking, well, I can build this here, but wow, that really opens up John to get a really sweet spot, potentially, which is kind of cool, especially the way that this ended like this. I could put my Big Daddy right there and get, once again, get more water, but my water's, like that. But I also like that the element of, I'll kind of use that to transition. You have the kind of tightness a little bit of this board here. You can't have more resources than what it gives you.
Yeah.
So that would be challenging for me because I would be wasting, water by taking that action. And so I think that's cool. When Dean builds a machine, I could take the machine. I could use the machine. The player interaction is probably one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of the scaffolding and the machines too for what resources you get, unless you have a starting ability that allows you to gain resources or whatever. Yeah. But I like that because that goes along with the player interaction. Yeah. If I know it's really easy for me to get whistles, and I'm probably playing this wrong in this game, but if I know it's really easy for me to get whistles, but it's not for John, I might, instead of having placed this, I might have just taken this and just put it here, and then not take any tiles that allow me to get whistles out there, just so that whistles for John are a lot more difficult to get.
Which would be harder to get those, a lot harder.
That's right. And so you can really like hold people from getting the resources that they need, and the fact that, like you said, that's actually something I really like. The resource management in this can be really challenging.
Yeah.
It can be really tight, like John said, because you don't know how this board is going to play out. We've had games where the iron was really difficult to get because it just wasn't out here, and so we don't have a lot of small buildings or large buildings. It's mostly small buildings, and I really enjoy that. I like the variability of this game. This is probably my favorite thing about this game because every game is going to be so different. I mentioned that,
especially with that. Yeah,
the starting tiles there's a ton of these in the bag, and you're only going to have one per player in the game. It's possible.
They're very powerful too.
I think there might be one of these tiles that changes that, where you can change this out or something like that. But overall, mostly you're only going to have one of these.
Yeah.
You have so many of these different cards. These that change your engine that you're building, I think, are really cool. The buildings that you're never going to get all the way through. Like, there's just a lot of variability in this game. Way more than the average game, I would say, because of all those pieces that play together.
Maybe. Yeah, we didn't show this. I wanted to show this before. Like, these cards are pretty neat. They're like a one-time play card, like remote trigger a building. If you have, for each empty row, you're going to get a resource and different things like that. So that's a spot I just wanted to make sure that y'all saw that. I even had a player ability last time where when I gained one of these, or maybe when I gained two on a turn or something, I got an extra one.
Yeah.
And so that really, and I like that because I was heavy focused on that. In this game, I should be heavy focused on building machines because I'm able to trigger those machines like boom, boom, boom. In fact, maybe I built some smaller ones because I could do maybe two, in a turn if there was the scaffolding to do it. But maybe not, And
you still gain a lot of points from the machines too. So
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons to follow that, I think.
Another interesting piece to what Dean said about the variability is there are machines that change the rules. So like right here, if I could build this machine, the whistles are not wild, which would be, I was thinking I need to get that out there. I need to take that piece. I need to build that piece so that Dean can't now have his whistles that he's exchanging for other things and stuff like that, which would have been I think super helpful for me. And plus, it's worth 16 points. That's a lot of points there. So yeah. And then this stuff is pretty cool. Whenever you're trying to get as high as you can and move them over. So there's different ways to score points. And lastly, I like the whirlpool. I think it's a fun thematic thing where the snow melts and it's starting to rise, and it causes tension. There's definitely some tension in this game.
It's interesting though because it causes potentially a lot of tension because you're thinking about that a lot. I can't let these people drown in the whirlpool. In the grand scheme of things, losing 5 points in this game isn't a huge deal because you're going to score a lot of points. But it's like the emotional attachment that you have to these meeples. You can't let them drown, right? Or you can't let them hang out in the hot tub.
I guess there is a tile here that you don't lose any points, so
that's right.
You can just let them drown and just say, "See ya, suckers."
That's right. I really think maybe this is my favorite. This and then the starting abilities are my favorite because they just changed the rules so drastically, right?
Ooh, my OCD's going insane.
I know. I didn't notice that was the case. How about that? But it just changes the game so drastically. And if you can get several of these that feed off of each other, and you're going to get points for them at the end of the game, the problem is they can be pretty expensive sometimes too.
Sure.
But they're definitely worth it to get.
I had to pay a lot of water to get this one. 4 water to get 1 tile.
That's right. That was it. But now all your water is wild for the rest of the game. So,
but I only get 2 points as well. So that's the other thing. Sometimes, most of the time, when they're less powerful, they're going to give you more points.
Yeah.
That's an interesting balance. And maybe you shift the way you play the game. Earlier, you're probably taking the things that are better for engine building. Later, you might take the ones that are worth, last round or two, some more points.
That's right.
So
what about some of the negatives for you, John?
There's not a ton of negatives here. It's positive and negative. Like, this is I wouldn't say it's not a gateway game.
No, it's not.
When I say that, a gateway weight game. But it's not. It's like right around that kind of medium weight on the lower end of it. In my thought, like understanding how to play, I feel like it is.
Understanding how to play, yes.
Which that can be a positive if I'm thinking. I'm always thinking, who can I play with? This is why it's our scores, and we're just. Just being like honest. Like I'm like, who could I play this game with? And I think I could like with some of my family members and stuff. I think they would actually enjoy this. It's easy to teach. Place the workers there, put the things out there. I think that's pretty cool. But I feel like I kind of wish there was, maybe a little more for me in this game. You know what I mean? Like I would be really excited about an expansion, maybe if they did it right. The other thing that I didn't maybe love is, and it's like we talked about Tawant and Suyu a lot, and how like the game is going to trigger at the end based on how the players are playing, which I love that mechanic. Mm-hmm. However, it can be a little draggy depending on the way the game's played. And, I guess that's about, and I can say the same thing for other games like Tawant and Suyu potentially or not, but like the first time Dean and I played, we were not shooting up past here. And that game lasted quite a while, and I kind of felt like, I was ready for it to end by the time it was done. Were you ready for that game to end?
This one is a little bit different.
Way different.
Because we've already got,
way different.
I cheated, but, anyway. Had we not, still in that third round, that would have already started to rise up.
So it could be pretty short.
Skyrocketing up there for sure.
It could be a pretty short game. So that's again, those are two like minor things.
Okay.
For me personally. What about you? Any negatives for you?
I get that. Yeah, I think one of those things that that can be an issue is that you are, I guess you could say this about a lot of worker placement games, which you are kind of doing the same thing over and over placing the worker. But the thing that changes that, and that is because that can be a negative, but the way that it has been a positive is going back to the player interaction, because that just changes everything. Right?
And the water changes it. When they cover up those spots, you're like, well, I can't go there and get those spots. So how do I get back to that again? So that was cool.
Yeah, but it's a very puzzly game, which I tend to like puzzly games like this. So
I've said this a couple times lately. Like I'm to a degree a little polyominoed out, but the way that it uses it is pretty unique in this game, which I like.
Yeah, and the fact that you're getting those points is surprisingly unique, right? Like that seems like that would have been used in other places. Maybe it has been. I just can't think of anything offhand.
Yeah.
Anyway, final thoughts if you're ready to move into that.
Yeah, I like this game actually. This is a good solid game. This has gotten a lot of really good buzz. I was actually really hyped about playing this game because of that. I don't know if I'm like jumping out of my seat about this game. Like I think Dean likes this game a lot more than I do. Jonathan, you know, who you've seen on some of our stuff, liked this game. He was in his top 10. I don't, for some reason.
It's like his number 2, I think.
Yeah, for some reason it didn't just grab me like that, but I like it. I'm still going to give this 7.5 out of 10, which I'm usually willing to play it. I don't think it's one I'm probably, 8 would be I'm going to suggest it. There's just other worker placement games. There's other, you know, I mean, this is unique though, with the scaffolding and the way that the tension in the game and stuff like that, which I like that about the game a lot. So it's very solid game. Really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this about as much as the last Bezier game we played, and that was Maglev Metro. Both really solid games. Nothing knocked my socks off, but I could see why people would even call this game of the year.
Yeah.
Like, if you like this weight of games, and that's, like, really your jam, it's very excellent.
Yeah. And I do. This is you know, right in my wheelhouse
yeah.
of weight for sure. I really like this one. I had mentioned when we did our top 10 of 2020 that I wanted to play this a little bit more to have a better idea of where I was going to land. I still don't think that this would have gone into my top 10, but it would have been like right around there. It would have been around 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there.
Well, interestingly enough, this was borderline for me. It's the way that, I mean, the scores this year, I just tended to give lower scores than Dean did. And so, like, that 7.5 range was, you know, like, was border for me. So this was maybe, you know, as close as it, I guess I didn't feel like the year was as good as he did.
Yeah, sure.
But and because of that, like, I mean, this is good.
Yeah. Well, also, I tend to like a broader range of games. So for me,
I like everything.
For me, I'm going to give this one. I'm going to give this one an 8.5. Actually, I'm really big on this one. Yeah,
dude,
it's risen up for me the more
just
opportunities
like the water
I've had to play it
from the snow of the mountain.
That's right. It's risen up for me for sure the more I play, because I just feel like there's so many good things to like about this game. The way things play off of each other, the way the players interact, the way how this central piece works, and you're all like working together, but also trying to benefit yourself more than the other players. I like that a lot. This is a really good game, and I get there's a lot of people out there that have this as their, you know, number 1, number 2, 3 game of last year, and I totally get that. Yeah. It's not quite that for me, but it's way up there. I think this is a fantastic game. So it's an 8.5 for me. That is a 7.5 from John. Tell people how they can get in touch with us.
If you're enjoying our channel, we would love for you to subscribe. You can go to MeepleTownGames.com to check out all of our stuff. We're at Meepletown Games on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we're Board Game Geek Gil 3407.
Thanks for coming down to Meepletown. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild number 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.